दिव्यज्योति ये लॉजिक वाला सेकंड वीडियो रखा था क्या तुमने? अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है, तो एक वो बाद में कर देना, मतलब ये आज और कल का लेक्चर के बाद वो कर देना। So can I plan a test after the means this puja break, the first internal after the puja break? Then it will be easy for you. Half of the syllabus you can give a online test kind of thing. पूजा के बाद या दिवाली के बाद बोलो? Which will be okay with you guys, after puja or after Diwali? Can I take, because the final one will be on the whole syllabus, and but before that we can have one internal test, because that's why I covered the discrete mathematics part. That is a easy part, so that's why I covered that first. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स वाले तो है, एमसीए वाले भी है, आईटी का तो हिलरी है, और कोई है क्या? और ये जितेश तो इलेक्ट्रिकल वाला हो गया, जितेश पूर्णिमा। और ये क्या बोलते हैं इसको, स्टैटिस्टिक्स का कोई है?
हाँ सर।
Okay. So you just let me know, means should I take, or should I take only one internal? I can take one internal, or I can take say half of the syllabus. I can take one internal, and then either rest part or the whole part. Means if you fare poorly in the first one, then we'll take the whole one and we'll take the best of the two. Or else what we can do, we can have half of syllabus to two internal tests. तुम लोग डिसाइड करके बोलो, क्योंकि सबका तो एक साथ ही होगा ना, जो भी होगा। ओके, you are from which department? Ranglong? Okay, stats. Okay, so stats are okay with say two internal tests. What about the electronics and electrical guys?
Sir, we are also okay with two internals.
You are from electrical?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I am
Okay.
from electronics. Two
Yes,
internal
yes.
will be okay.
Okay. MCA or IT? MCA and IT? एमसीए का तो सब लोग ही है लगभग विशाल चौक के, तो तुम लोग का दो दो होने से होगा या एक ही दोगे? ओके, एमटेक का हिलरी?
हाँ सर, 2 होने से चले।
Okay, so I'll do accordingly. As already say around 20 of you are there, so I'm sharing my slide. Okay, so you can see my screen, I guess.
Yes sir.
Just one or two of you are still joining. So I had discussed the reasoning this yeah, you can see my slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
today I'll be discussing the reasoning under uncertainty. I'll try to finish it say tomorrow, but if I'm not able to finish it, I'll be say continuing it after 25th onwards. 25th I may not be able to take your class. Maybe on 26th I'll be taking because till 25th I may be out of station. So in between these particular reasoning under uncertainty things so will be coming into joint probability distribution and conditional probability distribution. So statistics students will be very happy with it because those are their basic things that I'll be discussing. But the thing is that here we are just tilting it a bit because we are considering the uncertainty part. And while we'll be programming it, it is for us if we can program those probable things, it is useful for artificial intelligence. So starting off, here you see what we are having. We are having two terms. One is the reasoning term and one is the uncertainty term. It is what our normal human brains do day to day. We always reason. Like one girl, she called up in the morning and she is asking, sir, I got admitted in information technology. Sir, is information technology equivalent to computer science? Now, if I take that particular point of view, then in some ways it is and in some ways it is not. If you see computer science and engineering and IT, over the days the demarcations have reduced. Somebody from electrical engineering might be say doing more programming than somebody who is in computer science engineering, because if you are handling say power and energy things, like say you take the energy statistics of the whole I think some of you are not having your project defined electrical guys. So you can think like, say you take go to our substation in Tripura University, you take the daily reading, you can get the daily reading, the energy consumption statistics. Along with that, what you can do, you have so many buildings in Tripura University, you can take the energy consumption based on the bulbs connected, tubes connected, computers connected. Electrical guys, you do this kind of thing, I guess. Electrical students?
Yes, sir.
So you can do, say, for example, you take this electrical, electronics, computer, and IT. These four departments are in this academic building 9. So in academic building 9, we have 4 floors, and you can take the data of how many say bulbs are there, how many tubes are there, how many of them are, say, some faculties are regular, some faculties are irregular, some labs you have on the daily basis, like we have a microprocessor lab there. Only during the one semester they have a lab, in the other semester they don't have a lab. So these kind of statistics you can take into account, and you can calculate the load consumed by this particular thing tentatively, and then you can go to the substation, and there you can see what the whole university consumes, and based on that you can percentage of load that the academic building 9 is consuming with respect to the whole university load, isn't it? You can do that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
So if you can do that kind of thing, what you can do is that over the say daily data you can take, weekly data you can take, say you can take monthly data, and based on that you can have some prediction that during these puja holidays, as this building will be closed, the overall percentage of load being taken by this particular building will be reduced like that. So there what you are doing, you are actually doing statistical calculations, but statistics guys do not know about the electrical things, isn't it? Statistics guys do not know about the electrical things. So what you have to do, you have to study statistics and apply that for your energy ratings or power consumption ratings. Getting the idea? Others from electronics and IT background and MCA background, I'm taking the electrical power as a thing because that you do in day-to-day life. I hope all of you are understanding what I want to say. Getting the idea what type of problem I'm say showing? IT, electronics, MCA guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And statistics guys, you know you can find out the statistics. If say Rahul gives you the number and Liton is doing the statistics there, so you can find out the statistics out of Liton is good in statistics and Rahul is good in say electrical data he'll collect and he'll give it to that, and he is say technically sound, he knows what just by seeing a CFL or a LED or a normal bulb or a tube, he knows what kind of rating is there and how much energy it is consuming, then how much time it is being on, and those things he will do and he'll give you the data. The statistics guy will do the thing, and the computer guys can do the IT CS, CS or MCA guys, they can do the programming for that. And for this processing of this data, means when these data will be in say number format, they will be in terms of a signal. The EC guys can do a signal processing for that, isn't it? Signal processing you can do. There are some things. One of the scholars of EC was working on my project, so there he applied VMD. VMD for the EEG signals of the brain, and later he used it in that same technique, he used it in optical communication. Why? Because variational mode decomposition is for nonlinear and non-stationary signals. Optical signals are also nonlinear and non-stationary. Brain signals are also nonlinear and non-stationary. Now if he wants, he can apply that same VMD which was used by this electronics guy in these energy statistics. Getting the idea? Because these are all data. I hope all of you are getting the problem that I am defining. Energy data you are taking. Say I'm making it a collaborative of all the departments who are involved in this course. First, Rahul from electrical gets the energy statistics. He applies his idea of electrical engineering, how much load consumption, and he gives it to Liton, who does the statistical analysis of that. And while he is doing the statistical analysis of that, say Tanmay is applying the VMD there and doing the non-stationary and non-linear. Because why it is non-stationary? Because always you may not be consuming the power. Sometimes there will be load shedding, or sometimes the faculty or student are not there. Sometimes you cannot do say Monday to Friday also, because say for example yesterday was a holiday, there the load will not be there in the academic building 9. Okay. So there you have to use non-linear, non-stationary kind of data analysis. So say Tanmay is doing that particular thing, and say Vishal and Hilary is doing the programming part. Getting?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I am bringing you a problem which is, so why I am defining you by names or departments is that here maybe one person also can do the job, but he will be of any one specialization and he has to learn the ideas of the other specialization. Now, if Vishal is doing the job or Dipjyoti is doing the job, they are good in programming. So what they have to do, they have to apply the signal processing ideas, and say if they have done a digital signal processing course and they have some idea, so they can do the digital signal. They have done a basic mathematics course, so they can apply the statistics idea from there. And one-to-one, even if they don't have the electrical idea, they may be asking some electrical people, okay, इसमें कितना rating ये CFL bulb में कितना लिखा हुआ है, उसके wise they, now it will be tedious for them. For what Rahul will be just seeing and writing down the things, for them they have to first know. But after they are doing a good amount of data handling, it will be easy for them. And same thing will be from any other of you, means these are separate specialization. Now you don't need always a specialized person in every place. What you can do, you can, if there are simple specializations, you can get accustomed to it. Just like a MBBS doctor can treat any medicine, but that doesn't mean that he is specialized in say ENT or he is specialized in this or that. Similarly, anybody who is specialized in one particular say medicine, he may not be knowing about ortho and other things, but something he will know. So if he can go through the things, he can cover it up. So that is why this AI has become a in general field, whether it is for IT, CS, EC or EE or stats or any mathematics group. Okay. So here what we are bringing, this AI is advantageous because we have to do first the reasoning which we human beings do regularly, and in uncertainty because there is no guaranteed systematic thing that will happen. Okay. So going ahead. So what is this reasoning? So it is the action of thinking about something which is maybe in a logical or a sensible way. And most of you who are say preparing for some competitive exams, or those who are planning for software jobs will be planning for a psychometric test, or you will be doing some reasoning, or क्या एक मोटा वाला किताब था ना RS अग्रवाल या किसका रीजनिंग का किताब है ना? How
sir.
many of you have gone through that? Some of you have gone through that.
Sir, very good.
Yes.
sir.
So that is a very popular book. अभी तुम लोग, if you are thinking of state government, or you are thinking of central government, or you are thinking for any private sector MNC or software job also, you have to say have the reasoning thing. So reasoning is normally all of us have some reasoning capabilities, but by going through this kind of books, we get the idea what type of problems may come, and you are a bit say in a higher lane to cover up those things. So main thing is that it is about thinking logically, and that's why I covered the logic part before this particular thing. So in AI, this I've taken from internet. You can see here what we are having is that you have the learning part, you have the understanding part, you have the solving part. So whether it is machine learning or AI, there you have the machine has to be taught how to reason. So for reasoning, you may teach it. That's why I gave you the idea that learning with a teacher kind of thing. Understanding, where it will be interpreting, and solving means based on some solutions you can do. So in a nutshell, reasoning is about learning, understanding, and solving, and you have to be able to do all of them together. Now here the statistics comes first. We say people, when we're doing with brain, we don't know that we are doing probabilistically. You may not be doing probabilistically, but or maybe in the subconscious you are doing probabilistically, means you are applying probability theory. But when you are doing it in a machine, you have to put the probability, because as of now, as I'm telling, that we are teaching the machine to think, so it cannot think like us. So as it cannot think like us, you will be having to put the probability idea. So you might have seen movies where, say, if there is a robot and he is thinking that this person may die, so I'll not waste my time on it. But if there is a person who loves that person, they will think that no, I love that person, so I should try to save him even if the probability of dying is less. So there is actually a uncertainty in that particular part. So here there are various problems because and different domains are there, and there what you have is it is not possible to create a consistent model for this particular thing. So what we are trying to do is, we are if you consider us people as agents, we must work on uncertain world, and our real world is always uncertain. Real world is uncertain means, say you joke with your friend every time. अभी मान लो कि विशाल और दीपज्योति रोज एक साथ क्लास में बैठता है, दोनों मजाक करता है, तो एक दिन दीपज्योति का मूड ठीक नहीं है, तो सेम जोक जो विशाल ने पिछले दिन किया था वो दीपज्योति को करेगा, तो दीपज्योति उठ के उसको मार दिया, बिकॉज हिज मूड वाज नॉट गुड. So Vishal thinks that अरे कल भी मैंने वही मजाक किया था, he was laughing and he was say joking with me in the similar way, but आज मुझे क्यों मार दिया बेकार में, तो फिर दोनों में झगड़ा हो गया. So these kind of things, because it is an uncertain world. The real world is always uncertain, because Vishal doesn't know what is there in the mind of Dipjyoti, and Dipjyoti doesn't know what is there in the mind of Vishal. So these kind of things happen in our real world, and we are more or less accustomed to it. But our machines, who for us writing y equal to mx plus c being a straight line equation is much easier than putting some nonlinear equations like x square and x cube and these kind of things. So when we have nonlinear things, we have to think in a different way, and our real world is normally uncertain. So we have to do the reasoning as well as we have to take care of the uncertainty part. That is the basic idea. Getting?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to make the agent to make some rational decisions, there have to be enough information, but always there happens that enough information is not there to prove whether this particular thing will work or not. Okay, so that is what our doctors do also. डॉक्टर भी हवा में तीर मार दिया, अभी बुखार हुआ बोल के रोज दवाई खिला रहा है, बाद में पता चला उसका बुखार नहीं, एक्चुअली वो बच्चा को चिकन पॉक्स हुआ था, तो बेकार में बुखार का दवाई दे दे के एंटीबायोटिक दे दे के उसको एक हफ्ता रुका के रखा। उससे अच्छा तो एक हफ्ता पहले ही अगर पॉक्स हो जाता तो पूजा में वो आराम से घूम सकता था। पूजा अभी क्या होगा, पूजा में वो घर में बैठा रहेगा, बिकॉज वो पहले 7 दिन दवाई खा लिया, अभी 7 दिन का पूजा मिस हो जाएगा। Isn't it? These kind of situations are common. So doctor was reasoning under uncertainty. So he was reasoning, अरे अभी तो पॉक्स का सीजन नहीं है, ये बच्चे को कैसे पॉक्स होगा, तो बुखारी होगा तो मैं एंटीबायोटिक खिलाता हूँ, तो एंटीबायोटिक खिला के वो पॉक्स को दबा के रखा। So what happened is that had the kid had pox say 1 week or 2 weeks back, then he could have enjoyed the puja vacation. Now he will not be able to be in the puja. When everybody will be going out, he will be in the room. Getting? So we are having this kind of thing. So the probability theory, which our statistics guys normally use, and our say in most of the MTech courses, at least for CS, electronics, electrical, and this IT, we have a probability and random processes, because that is very important, isn't it? I think electrical and for IT I have kept in the syllabus. Electrical and electronics MTech students, have you studied probability and random processes?
Yes sir, first semester we studied.
Okay. No, तुम्हारा तो IT का मुझे पता है, बाकी लोग का इलेक्ट्रिकल और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का?
Yes sir, studied at the surface level.
Okay. You have a course, probability and random process, or only probability?
We have studied about probability at 11, 12.
No. In MTech, do you have a subject on probability or not?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
So you don't have a maths course in MTech electrical or electronics?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have studied not in MTech but in BTech, sir.
But in MTech, you don't have any math subject?
Yes, sir. We have many math subjects. It's electrical is all about analysis, sir.
No. I'm telling pure mathematics related subject.
Oh no, sir. No, we don't have.
Electronics also don't have.
No, sir.
So that, I don't know, maybe actually the thing is that as per technical curriculum, you should have a mathematics subject. Maybe your syllabus has not been modified accordingly. So the probability and random processes, which the statistics guys are well aware of, and for them it is like cakewalk, is very important for you guys, because whether it is your fault analysis of electrical things or say communication channel analysis for electronics guys, you have to have some probability and random process idea. So that's why I intentionally kept it for our students. Even the computer science students, they study that particular thing. Our IT students, they study with them. For MCA, we have a mathematical foundation, which is a mixture of all the things, because their course compared to your MTech is say for technical side they are becoming a master degree, but it is actually for technical line it is BTech equivalent. For normal sciences they are a master degree. So for MCA it is a in general mathematics that we keep, because many of them may be from BSc background, but for MTech we keep this random processes and probability, because electrical and electronics, all of you are using this particular probability and random processes in general. If not, you actually need to say while doing your project you may require it time to time. And in AI, data science, that is it is very machine learning there, this particular probability and random random process is very important. And without mathematics, this AI machine learning is totally not possible. Even data science. Data science is more of statistics part. TIT, I think they have a data science course, so they will. I have not seen the syllabus. I hope they have a lot of these kind of, at least if we keep one, they should at least keep two probability and random processes things, because if they don't keep that, the students they will be programmers only. Without statistics, you cannot have a data science engineer, because everything is, you have to put the statistics and probability theory there. So we want to do this representation and reasoning for the uncertain world. So the reasons may be many. Say if some of the reasons may be like true uncertainty. So we are commonly having a true uncertainty. Statistics wala log to shayad you have done that, isn't it? True uncertainty and other things. Statistics students. कौन है statistics का यहाँ पे? Malavika is there. Litu Sarkar is there. You are doing, no?
Yeah, we are doing about type 1 and type 2 error only.
Okay, you have done in UG, I think, the statistics, basic things you have done. Because for you in BSc also, it should be there. Because our students are studying your BSc courses in their MTech or MCA or this, because our mathematics level is lower than you, technically. Okay, because for you it is the main subject. For us it is a subject that we use in our applications. Okay, so true uncertainty everybody knows, flipping the coin, because you don't know, or say while playing Ludo you are having the dice and you are throwing the dice. So anything from 1 to 6 may come up, or anything from 1 to tail or head may come up. So it is a true uncertainty, because when it is in the air, you don't know what it will come down, unless it is like Sholay kind of coin. So next is the theoretical ignorance. Theoretical ignorance is what complete theory, why this is this. So this medical diagnosis is one of the examples, isn't it? Theory, because somebody may not have a proper theory for that. So whatever like medical diagnosis is there, you will do some tests, and based on those test idea, the doctor will give you some medicine. Now there is no particular theory like or a simple equation like y equal to mx plus c, based on which the doctor will give you the medicine, isn't it? You have experienced that कोई बोलेगा बुखार का खाओ, कोई बोलेगा हेडेक का खाओ, कोई बोलेगा ये दवाई खाओ, इसमें बुखार और हेडेक का आधा आधा दवाई है, isn't it? So that is a very common thing which you must have experienced. So first is your true uncertainty, where we do reasoning under uncertainty. Then true uncertainty and reasoning under uncertainty means when, say, for example, Rangalong is tossing a coin, I do some reason that this coin will come head. Now, my reasoning under uncertainty may be different from somebody else. So that's why what happens in, as there are only two options, you have a issue regarding that. Okay. Can you just hold a minute? I have a important call. Just a minute, you stay there. Yes, sir. Hello? Yes, sir. Sir, we got around 18 applications, out of which only 4 appeared. Okay. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'll send it. Sorry, I had an important call from AICT. So anyway, so just here, so just a minute. theoretical ignorance means there is no particular complete theory behind why you are doing that and why you are not doing that and you are doing that. You can hear me, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I got a call in between. So anyway, so next is the laziness. Laziness is one of the reason why we do reasoning under uncertainty, uh, because of various factors. If you know that अरे बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा ये सब, उससे अच्छा हम लोग ये करते हैं. जैसे now in online classes many people what happens is that क्लास तो ठीक है, बाद में तो नोट्स मिल जाएगा, एक काम करते हैं वो मोबाइल को ऑन करके साइड करके रख देते हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज लेजीनेस. बट हियर व्हाट इज दैट, यू हैव अ रीजन अंडर दिस अनसर्टेनिटी. व्हाट, अभी सर कुछ बोलेगा भी तो मेरे दिमाग में घुसेगा नहीं घुसेगा, या फिर सर ऐसा मतलब पढ़ा रहा है, इट माइट बी बोरिंग फॉर मी. बाद में एग्जाम से पहले एक बार नोट्स देख लेंगे तो काम खत्म, तो उसको साइड करके रख देते हैं. सर तो स्लाइड देंगे ही और दीपज्योति भी वीडियोस देंगे ही. व्हेन आई हैव टाइम बिफोर द एग्जाम आई विल डू. नाउ आई कैन स्विच ऑन माय मोबाइल और आई कैन आस्क समबडी एल्स टू स्विच ऑन विथ माय आईडी. कंप्यूटर में लॉग इन करके साइड में कर दो. बट you have a reason because you might be having some important work. Like now, if it had been a call from any of the faculty members or say somebody who is of lower criteria, or may any of you have, say maybe one of you is not attending the class and you had called, I would have not picked up the call. Why I would not have picked up the call? Because this class is more important to me. Whereas now the call came from AICT and that is regarding the fellowship of 1 crore. We got a fellowship of 1 crore for our PhD students. Now, out of those 1 crore, 50 lakhs was allotted to IT department, computer science, I think 37 point something, and electrical was allotted 12.5. That is because of the availability of seats of PhD under different categories. Now, as the criteria for AICT was very high, criteria very high means they wanted for the age should be 30 years of the candidate, means they should be fresh graduate and they should have 70% in UG and PG, and they should have a GATE score on a NET score. Now with that kind of eligibility criteria, we didn't get good amount of students. So already say 50 lakhs was lost because out of the 8 seats we got, we could fill up only 4. Now here also there is the issue that there are some reservation criteria. Now, though normally SC or ST students we can take in the general, but in this case we cannot take unless, say for example, GATE score of SC and ST is say 20 for clearing, and GATE score for general is 25. So if some SC or ST candidate is coming to us and he or she is having GATE score between 20 to 25, in terms of SC or ST, he or she is qualified, but he is not having say more than 25. So we cannot take that particular person in the general seat because the qualifying marks for general is more. Or maybe somebody is having say GATE score good, say 29 or 30. So in general also he or she is qualified. In SC also he or she is qualified, or in general also he or she is qualified. But unfortunately in her BSc or BTech she has got 68%. Now there is a 5% relaxation for SC and ST students, but for general students there is no relaxation. They have to have 70%. Now again, he or she is not qualified in the general seat. You cannot take them in the unreserved seat because the qualification of unreserved doesn't match. So here we'll have a reasoning under uncertainty how to adjust them. So some state government criteria are there, some central government criteria are there. Central government says 27% for OBC. State government says because Tripura is a remote state, 31% for ST. So there are different kind of things. So what we have to do, if that same student would have applied in somewhere else, he or she would have got. But here you are not able to get because of this kind of uncertainties are there, because rules and regulations change time to time. Say for example, say any of you, say Smita scores say 25 out of 100 in her GATE. Now this time maybe 25 is for general, but next time maybe 27 is for general. Now the same score she got, say next year, she would not be qualified, but this year she is qualified, isn't it? Getting what I want to explain? So you can have a lot of uncertainties. Along with that, we have a sort of rules. That's why I was giving the idea of the rules. It is too hard to use so many rules and see how to handle it. Okay. Then is practical ignorance. Practical ignorance is, say, any individual is uncertain about, means what type of domain is there, what information is there, and whether it is okay or not, and whether it is not okay or not. So these kind of things are there. Now, IT students, they might have experienced it. Say MTech IT, say we are having a few courses which are for CS students, and we have a few students, few courses which are for electronics or hardware based courses. Now what is happening to these students, like Dipankar and say Bhavatosh are from electrical electronics background, who are now doing MTech in IT, and say Hilary and Rajiv are from BTech computer science background, who are doing MTech in IT. So for them, this and even two students are having MCA, they are doing MTech in IT. So when we have a mixed kind of thing, so we have 4 people with computer background and 2 people from circuit background who are doing MTech in IT. Now what happens here is that, say I am taking a few courses which are related to the circuit courses. So when I'm taking something which is related to the circuit, for the 2 students of circuit background, it is easier compared to the 4 students from the computer science background. And say, for example, one of my colleagues is taking, say, theory of computation or automata theory, which is a basic course for computer guys. So those who are from circuit background, they have never studied automata theory. For them, it is a bit tougher. Whereas if you take a probability and random processes, which all 6 of them have not studied, for them, this may be tougher or easier based on their mathematics background. So these are only a few reasons. You can have many more reasons why we do the reasoning under uncertainty. I hope I'm able to explain the reasons for reasoning under uncertainty. Okay? Clear this part?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now representing the belief and propositions. So when we, some things are beliefs and something are propositions. Say, I believe, say today, say one of the students, say Hilary is not able to attend class. So she says regular in, say 10 classes, and out of those 10 classes, she has not attended 1 class. So if she is regular and 1 class she doesn't attend, then I know that there should be some reason, genuine reason why she has not attended. And there may be some other student, say, who is not attending, say 7 of the 10 classes. Now, in the 11th class, he doesn't come. I'll think that, okay, he normally is not attending the classes. So anyway, he now that day, it may be a genuine reason for him. And that day may be not a genuine reason for Hilary. But based on the probability, what we'll do, we'll think that for Hilary, it is a genuine reason, and for that particular person, it is not a genuine reason. So there is some belief and about propositions. Proposition, I think I had discussed while discussing the discrete mathematics part. So rather than reasoning about the truth and falsity of the proposition, we reason about the belief. So that's why I was saying that if Hilary doesn't attend 1 class, I'll think that she has a genuine reason. Whereas somebody else who is not regular. So there is a difference between people who are regularly irregular and somebody who is irregularly regular. Oh, sorry, I think it's the same thing. Oh, wait a minute. Say somebody who is regular and in some day he or she is irregular, and somebody who is irregular and someday he or she is becoming regular. So there is a reason about the belief that this proposition for the event is true or false. So each primitive proposition that we do, we attach a degree of belief. Now, if I think that based on 10 say classes, I take the attendance record of all the students, and based on that, say somebody who has attended 10 out of 10, I give him probability of 1, means he or she is attending all the classes. And somebody who has attended 9, I give him or her a probability of 0.9. And like that, I can give different. So statistics, guys, am I correct in that? Statistics students, you are getting what problem I am discussing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Means 10 all you 43 of you are there. Now out of these 43 of you, say after 10 classes I put the attendance record, and in out of 10, why I am saying it is easy to do the calculation. Now out of 10 anyway, and one more advantage is that here class cannot be 0.5, but if I want with the Excel sheet I can do 0.5. How? I have your login times. At one time you logged in, but if I had done a normal attendance record in the say attendance sheet like we do in offline classes, I would have either 1 or 0. Okay, means you have attended the class or you have not attended the class. Okay, but if I take the Excel sheet record and I correlate with time, I can get in point also. Somebody who has attended for 30 minutes out of 1 hour, I'll put say 0.5. Then somebody who has attended say 10 minutes, and somebody may have say logged in and due to some error they have logged out, I get him or her for 10 seconds timing. So based on the timing I can put a probabilistic attendance register. Out of 10, how much duration you have. 10 means 10 hours. So out of 10 hours, how many hours you have attended. Now if I do that kind of thing, what will happen? Somebody who has attended all the 10 classes but not for full duration, he may have less attendance percentage compared to someone who has attended, say somebody has attended 5 classes, but he or she has attended 5 hours. So for him, it is 5 hours out of 10 hours. Whereas somebody who has attended all the 10 classes, but has say logged in, say 15 minutes late and logged out 15 minutes early, for him also it will be 5 hours. Getting? Getting the idea? What I want to mean?
Yes,
so if I take based on
Yes, sir.
hours, if I take based on hours, it will happen that somebody who has attended 5 lectures fully and somebody who has attended 10 lectures partially, they will have the same amount of hours out of 10. So their probability in the next class also will be accustomed with that. Say on the 11th class, what is the probability or how many students will be attending the class, I can find out in that way. Clear? I can do the prediction that this is the percentage. Moreover, I can do 2 kind of things. Like say Rangalong is say logging in. I can also predict after 10 classes. Maybe my prediction may be wrong or it may be right, but I can still predict, means for how long he will be logged in my next class. Now that calculation I can do it in various ways. One way is based on the last 10 classes, but there is a problem there. What problem is there? I have not taken classes on the same, means if I had taken means situation is not uniform. Why situation is not uniform? Maybe Rangalong is say along with this course, he is also say doing some tuition. So he is having tuition on Monday mornings. So either he is taking tuitions or he is giving tuitions, whatever it is. So he has some work every Monday morning, but that is not related to his master degree. So what happens is that if I take only Monday classes, or had I conducted every Monday to Friday, every day 10:30 to 11:30, it would have been a uniform statistics. But I have not done that. Now, as I have not done that, say last week also I took 3 classes, last week also I took 3 classes, and maybe this week also I'll be taking after tomorrow's class, it will be say 3 classes. So actually I'm taking 3 classes weekly, but they are not always on the same day. So if somebody is having some tuition or is giving some tuition separately, the statistics will not match. So even if I do a prediction for Monday morning, I may be wrong because I have not taken all the Monday morning separately. I have taken all days as uniform. Getting? What kind of predictions we can have and what kind of predictions we cannot? I hope you are getting the example. So here if the data is more and if the data is uniform, I cannot say always the data is uniform, but at least I can say that we can have a uniform data, like say every Monday at 10:30 to 11:30 I am taking a class. So for that kind of thing, if I am able to take say 100 data, say for 100 days I am taking your classes, which is not actually practical. Anyway, for 100 days I am taking from Monday, every Monday 10:30 to 11:30. So based on that, if I do a statistics prediction that what will happen in the next Monday, I can do something. But that I cannot do if I'm taking Monday, because Monday and these are different, Monday and Friday. And there may be issues of network issues. It may be due to rain, and it may be offline. Means I'm taking only the online classes. I'm not taking the offline cases. But even in rain, the network may be having a problem, and many other things are there. So these are all non-linear, non-stationary signals. And there we can put some proposition for the event, and we can attach some degree of belief to these different things. But we cannot say 100% that is correct. Getting? And even in seasons it will change. अभी पूजा का दिन है, अभी मैं बोलूंगा कि नेक्स्ट ट्यूसडे को मैं क्लास लूंगा, तो पता चला बहुत लोग पूजा में घूम के सुबह उठ ही नहीं पाया, isn't it? So those issues are there. So use of probability theory is actually a formal means of just manipulating the degrees of belief. So what is the degree of belief? Is I'm just manipulating based on using a probability theory. Now some rules may be beneficial for somebody and some rules may not be beneficial for somebody. Now that's why I gave you the example of say one person attending 5 lectures, complete 5 lectures, say 1 hour each, so 5 hours, and one person attending each lecture, वो रोज अटेंडेंस दे देता है. अभी ये ऑफलाइन क्लास में तो उसको पूरा अटेंडेंस मिल जाता. ऑनलाइन क्लास में मैं अगर टाइमिंग लूंगा तो उसका पूरा अटेंडेंस, उसका भी आधा अटेंडेंस होगा. तो जिसने 5 फुल क्लास किया है और जिसने आधा आधा करके 10 क्लास किया है, दोनों का बराबर हो जाएगा. अगर मैं ऑनलाइन if I take the timestamp of login and log out of the different IDs, for them in online classes is number of hours you are logged in. Now that logged in also is not proper, as I told you. Somebody else may be say दीपज्योति का भाई दीपज्योति के अकाउंट से लॉगिन करके रखा है. बीच बीच में yes sir ही तो बोलना है, isn't it? So those kind of things are there. So there are different reasoning that we can apply in under uncertainty. So if I give a proposition A and the probability is PA, the statistics guys or even you have done in your class 11, 12 probability, that probability will lie between 0 to 1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if it is true, it is 1. If it is false, it is 0. That also you know. And a proposition A may be either true or either false. So वो true भी हो सकता है, false भी हो सकता है, और कभी कभार हमको नहीं पता होने से हम लोग बीच में डालेंगे 0.3, 0.5, 0.7 kind of things. Okay. So electrical guys or those who are say having studied fuzzy logic. How many of you have studied fuzzy logic? एमटेक आईटी को तो इस बार मैंने पढ़ने के लिए बोला है. बाकी लोग, how many of you have studied fuzzy logic?
हाँ sir.
Sir, in BTech I have studied.
Okay, and statistics वाला तो सब किया ही होगा fuzzy logic ना?
हाँ sir.
Okay, but for electrical guys, I think it is very important. Okay, I'll be giving you a brief idea of fuzzy logic. मेरा ये तो खिचड़ी वाला कोर्स है. Anyway, I'll be giving you a brief idea of fuzzy logic, fuzzy applications, because fuzzy logic also falls under the AI, but here we are not say particularly studying fuzzy logic. So I'll just give you a brief idea. For those who have idea, fine. Those who don't have idea, I'll just say I'll take one lecture or half a lecture on that when I'll be discussing the AI applications. Fuzzy logic is more used in the electrical things, and nowadays even washing machines and other things, we have the fuzzy thing, because it is something like what we do, means हम लोग डायरेक्ट 1 और 0 नहीं बोलते हैं, हम लोग बीच वाला कुछ बोल देते हैं कभी कभार. सो बीच वाला को रीजन करके हम लोग 0 और 1 में लेके जाते हैं. सो मेनली दैट इज योर, द लॉजिक इज फजी, बट वी कैन कम टू ए डिसीजन along with it. So here the proposition may either be true or false, but in between you can have some probability which can be categorized, and later on if you can involve say fuzzy logic and other things, you can come down to true and false easily. So main thing is that you have to obtain some interpreting probabilities. So if you go ahead, what you have, there are some examples which I'm taking up. Say weather equal to sunny, 0.7. अभी मैं 0.7 बोलूंगा that there is a belief that आज sunny होगा. क्यों? मान लो कि कल बारिश हो गया था, तो ऊपर का क्लाउड का टंकी खाली हो गया, तो आज तो सनी होगा, isn't it? That is one probability. Getting? आज अगर अच्छा से बारिश हुआ, तो we can expect that tomorrow will be a sunny weather because पूरा पानी तो गिर गया. So it is chances that the clouds are empty. But if the clouds are not empty, obviously you may not get it, say, sunny weather. In case weather is random and it can be variable, sunny, rainy, snowy, cloudy. कुछ हमारे यहाँ पे snowy नहीं होगा. Anyway, we can have any of the four kind of things coming up into the picture. And अभी तुम्हारा दांत में दर्द है, तो there is a probability कि उसमें cavity है. Cavity नहीं भी हो सकता है. ऐसा भी हो सकता है किसी ने तुमको मारा है या फिर कुछ हार्ड चीज खाते वक्त तुमको चोट लग गया होगा, इसके लिए भी दांत में दर्द होगा. But chances that their cavity is true is equal to 0.05. So there is a 5% chance that if somebody is having a toothache, it may lead to cavity, isn't it? बचपन में तो होता था, अभी भी शायद होता है. So this we are just putting some Boolean random variables, as it is sometimes it is not always to put easy to put a true or a false, isn't it? Getting? So here see, if I take a intersection of P equal PA and PB, then if it is point to say your mood, say A is your mood, and your mood can be happy or it may be sad, and B is the weather, it may be rainy. So there is a 20% chance that when it is raining, your mood is happy. अभी मान लो कि पूजा के आगे वाला दिन बारिश हो गया, तो यू आर हैप्पी, क्या अरे आज तो अच्छा से बारिश हुआ, तो पूजा में अच्छा से घूम पाएगा, तब वहां पे सनी होगा. इट मे बी ड्यू टू दैट, और इट मे बी दैट कि अभी say I ask you to come for offline class tomorrow and you think आज बारिश हो गया तो सर तो अभी ऑनलाइन ही कराएगा, तो मुझे निकलना नहीं पड़ेगा. Getting? It may be some other reason also. Just I'm giving some random examples. Clear? So if you are obtaining and interpreting the probabilities, there are several senses in which the probabilities can be obtained and interpreted, and among them you can have some things like frequentist interpretation. Like I said that I had given the example that Hillary is attending all the classes, so I will think that tomorrow also Hillary will attend the class. But what is happened is, due to some reason, she is not able to attend the class. But I will do a frequentist interpretation that she will be attending the class. So I am applying probability. Say 10 में से 10 क्लास किया है, तो probability 1 है, तो it is true and I'll put true there. Getting? और दूसरा क्या है कि कोई मान लो कि कोई है, जैसे लिटू सरकार है, तो वो जब भी क्लास करता है पूरा 1 घंटा करता है, और नहीं तो नहीं करता है तो घुसेगा ही नहीं, ऐसा टाइप का है. तो for them I'll say that if he comes, he will attend the full 1 hour. If he doesn't come, पूरा 0 ही रहेगा, either 0 होगा नहीं तो 1 होगा. Getting? So you can do some frequentist interpretation, means based on how they are coming and other things. Say for example here, if set S equal to P union N, then this P intersection N is actually an empty set, because here you are taking the probability, and if you are interpreting the probability based on the number, N is the number here. So you can associate with respect to the population, and how, say for Hillary I associated with she logging in every day, and with Litu Sarkar I say associated that whenever he logs in, he logs out at the end only. Okay, so these kind of things we can do. And second one is your subjectivist interpretation. So here it is the degree of belief for occurrence of any. तो मुझे पता है कि मान लो कि कोई ट्यूशन में जाता है या ट्यूशन लेता है एवरी मंडे, तो मैं जब मंडे को क्लास लेता हूँ तब वो नहीं आता है. तो if I know that girl or that boy is not always available at 10:30 to 11:30 on Monday, तो मुझे मालूम होगा कि वो उस टाइम में he has some other work and he is not always available there. So that is a subjective this based on a proposition based on the occurrence of an event. I have seen a few reoccurrences of this kind of thing, and then based on that I have done that particular thing. So this interpretation probabilities characterize the agent's belief. Here I am the agent who is putting the probabilities on you attending the next class. Okay, getting?
Yes, sir.
So you can represent the beliefs and propositions in different way. So if you take a problem domain and the programmer or the expert, they will identify the relevant propositions, and you can have propositional variables that are needed to reason in the domain. So you can have this kind. So statistics guys who are there, they will be much better, who will be giving better proposition, and the computer background guys will be doing a better programming of. Now if the language identification is not proper, then there is a problem. Okay, so if there is a particular thing, means you need to do a conversion kind of thing. Conversion kind of thing, जैसे अभी there is a trend that all mother and father are trying to name their kids with A or double A. Can anybody tell me what may be the reason? डबल ए सिंगल ए से नाम कर रहा है. अभी ट्रिपल ए भी है. मेरा एक कोलिग का बच्चा का नाम ट्रिपल ए है, आद्रित. ट्रिपल ए DRIT. कैन एनीबडी टेल मी?
सर रोल नंबर आगे आ जाए इसलिए शायद.
रोल नंबर आगे आ जाए, दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजंस. एनी अदर रीजन?
Sir, in many
जेई
cases,
में सेम मार्क मिलने से
there is
रोल नंबर जिनका पहले होता है उनको फायदा होता है.
नहीं रोल
तो
नंबर
same
देखो,
mark रहता है.
रोल नंबर सेम से भी इम्पोर्टेंट में क्या है मैं बोलता हूँ. See,
Sir, there are many criteria in nowadays where there is a tie between students in percentage or something, but they'll take them according to name wise, which have the alphabetical order. They'll take that time.
yes, see, that is means that reason actually whatever you said is correct, and that is the main reason. No doubt roll number thing is that is visible, and many of them do that, like Smita said. But what you said is very important from us programming point of view. Like I was a part of 2 or 3 different counseling programming. Means for counseling they were doing the programming based on the different state criteria and other things. But whenever we have a program, there has to be some ways in which you have to sort out if there is a tie, that what Tasdik has said. So what happens is that, like say for example in my previous institution, there are lot of categories. यहाँ पे तो त्रिपुरा में तो बहुत easy है. वहाँ पे 8 नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स का वी फॉलो डिफरेंट क्राइटेरियाज. मणिपुर में परसेंटेज ऑफ यूआर ओबीसी एससी एसटी अलग है, असम में अलग है, और सिक्किम में तो 18 रिजर्वेशंस है. I don't know if anybody is there from Sikkim. Then मेघालय और मेघालय में रिजर्वेशन, मेघालय फिर नागालैंड और ये अरुणाचल, ये सब जो मिजोरम, ये सब जो एसटी स्टेट्स है, दे आर हैविंग 90% रिजर्वेशन फॉर एसटी कैंडिडेट्स. नाउ आउट ऑफ दैट आल्सो मेघालय में लफड़ा ये है, उसमें खासी जैनता एक ग्रुप है एंड गारो अलग ग्रुप है. एनीबडी हु हैज आइडिया ऑफ मेघालय रिजर्वेशन? उसमें क्या होता है पता है? मेघालय रिजर्वेशन. So there are say for Garo students are there, then Khasi Jainta is there. 50% is for Khasi and Jainta together, and 50% reservation is for Garo out of 90% means 45-45. अभी उसमें क्या होता है, खासी और जैनता का खाली है, लेकिन गारो किसी को नहीं मिला तो गारो को मिलेगा, और गारो खाली है तो खासी जैनता को मिलेगा. इसके बाद वो 10% के पास जाएगा who are unreserved, और उस अनरिजर्व में भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय, ये सब खिचड़ी है. और फिर उसमें नॉन मेघालय का एसटी का भी रिजर्वेशन है. मान लो कि त्रिपुरा का कोई एसटी मेघालय में पढ़ रहा है, वो वहां का कोटा से अप्लाई करेगा. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ टेंशंस आर ऑलरेडी देयर. अलोंग विद दैट, व्हेन यू डू द मार्किंग, से somebody has got equal marks. अभी जब PCM ग्रुप होता है, when some 2 students have got the equal marks, the hierarchy is that even if they got equal marks, you have to find out who has got more in maths. वो तो इंजीनियर बनेगा, तो उसका तो मैथ्स का मार्क्स देखेंगे हम. वो मैथ्स इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट टू ऑल द इंजीनियर्स, सो मैथ्स वाला मार्क्स देखेंगे. मैथ्स के बाद इंजीनियरिंग के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है फिजिक्स. तो हम लोग देखेंगे कि मैथ्स में किसको ज्यादा मिला, या फिर अगर मैथ्स भी सेम मिल गया दोनों को, फिजिक्स में किसको ज्यादा मिला. फिर देखेंगे केमिस्ट्री में किसको ज्यादा मिला. इसके बाद भी अगर कुछ नहीं हुआ तो बाद में देखेंगे वो इंग्लिश और जीके वीके में मान लो कि 3 सेम हो गया, तो इंग्लिश, जीके, सोशल साइंस सेक्शन में तो एक ही नंबर होगा रीजनिंग का. सिमिलरली फॉर पीसीबी बायोलॉजी विल बी गेटिंग प्रेफरेंस, बट उसमें क्या होगा, फिजिक्स से पहले केमिस्ट्री आएगा और इसके बाद बायोलॉजी आएगा. मान लो ये सब भी सेम है. इसके बाद क्या होगा, एज आएगा. नाउ एज को हम लोग मान लो ये कर दिया कि जो कहीं पे रूल ये है कि जो सीनियर है उसको प्रेफरेंस देने का, और कहीं पे रूल है जो जूनियर है उसको प्रेफरेंस देने का. समटाइम्स इट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय द बॉडी दैट द जूनियर हैज टू बी गिवन प्रेफरेंस बिकॉज ऑफ he at the young age has secured it, so he should get preference. और वो तो दूसरा वाला तो रिपीटर भी हो सकता है. we need fresh minds. दूसरा में होता है कि जो एज ज्यादा है उसको दे दो because he may not get another chance. So those are different reasons in different competitive exams. लेकिन जो हम लोग प्रोग्रामिंग करते हैं, हमको पता है कि वो सब भी अगर सेम होगा तो मेरा सिस्टम का प्रोग्राम हैंग हो जाएगा. To sort it out, after date of birth we put the name, but there is no official record of it. I had been part of 3 this kind of programming events. In every one we sorted out with the alphabet order of the name, but we cannot officially disclose it that this was done based on their alphabet, because तो there will be a court case. अरे मेरा नाम के लिए मुझे आगे कर दोगे, मेरे नाम के लिए मुझे पीछे कर दोगे. You cannot do that, isn't it? Getting? So what Tasdik said is correct, but we do that unofficially. और जो स्मिता बोला वो रेगुलर है, रोल नंबर आगे आएगा और सबसे पहले वाइवा में वही जाएगा और बाकी लोग उसको पूछेंगे वाइवा में सर ने क्या पूछा. Isn't it? So these are there. So there are some relevant propositional things, and we put the variables and other things, and that is the probability. Means some parents are doing it for getting a roll number in the front side or sitting in the front bench, or some who know the technical issues, they are doing it. Anyway, each of these have to be represented by random variables, and we have a sample space, and it can be mutually exclusive, mutually exhaustive, and these can deal with the random variables. So we have a sample space which may be true and false. For example, as I had proposed for the cavity part, so cavity values true and false both are positive. Whether a patient is having cavity or not doesn't matter. Here either cavity will be yes or not, because he is having pain. Probability is that he may have cavity. अभी 5% probability अगर हुआ cavity होने का और उसका cavity है, तो 5% में भी it doesn't mean that वो 5% is less, because he may fall into that 5% group also. So the random variable that we assign, they are called the Boolean random variable, because we are putting zeros and ones. And you can take an example like you say, for example, random variable of color, maybe red, green, blue, which we can keep any kind of color kind of thing. And say if p color equal to red, then there is likelihood that we'll be giving a red object or red color dress. So किसी को अगर मान लो कि लाल रंग बहुत पसंद है, there will be a probability that he or she will buy a red colored dress for the puja. Okay, so PA being true will be PA, and that P bar के जगह मैंने वो use किया है, so that's okay, because वो बार देने में मेरा हमेशा वो लफड़ा हो रहा था slide में, so I use that thing, but you take it as P bar, sorry, A bar, PA bar. When you write it, you can write it as PA bar. Main thing is that it is a negative thing that we are putting. Okay, so I'll conclude here till today. Maybe tomorrow I'll be trying to finish it off. If not, we'll be going. So up to this, I hope it's clear, all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.